What's up guys, welcome to the 7th episode in this tutorial. Today we are going to load our maps, load our new maps and create multiple levels inside our game. So first of all, I would like to start with maps. So as you can see, this is the first level we are going to load inside our game, and it has multiple levels. As you can see here, we have the you have the background, we have the foreground, we have the don't touch layer, as you can see, which is the lava, we have the coins here, and we have the platforms. So we're going to load these and make these objects available to ourselves inside arcade. So this is going to be a bit long, I guess. For the second level here, we have a bunch of other layers. As you can see, we have the foreground, we have coins, and we have the platforms. Okay, so let's start with some of the constants that we defined here. So our screen positions, title are okay. The character scaling and tile scaling are okay. Coin scaling is okay. We need to add two more constants here to determine the end of the map. So let's define those. We need sprite, pixel size here, and we need the grid pixel size. We are going to set this one to sprite times tile scaling. The speed for player movements and player jumps are okay. The gravity is okay. Let's change some of the margins here. Let's set this left one to 200, right one to 200, 300, and let's set the top one is set to 100. It is actually okay. Let's add two more constants as well for start position player start X, set it to 64, and player start Y 225. Okay, let's go ahead and see what else we need to change. In the init function, we have coin lists. Okay, we have the vol lists, and we need to add some other layers as well, since as we saw we have multiple layers for foreground, background, don't touch list, which is our lava, and we have the player list. Okay, so let's define self foreground list to none, self background list, set this one to none as well. We need a don't touch layer as well, set this one to none. Let's see, we have the player sprite. We haven't initialized the physics engine, so self.physics engine, let's set this to none. Initialize it first. We have initialized the view bottom and view left, and we have the score. Let's see what else we need to add here. We need to add a variable for layer level, so let's set this to 1 for first layer. And we have the sounds. Let's add another sound for the game over. So self game over arcade.load sound, and let's load from our resources and sounds, which is game over 1.wav. Okay, we are done with the init function. Let's go to the setup function here. Okay, so in the setup function, we need to delete these files here, these lines here, sorry. So let's delete them since we're generating these from the tile map. And let's take a look at the first variables here. Okay, so let's start with zeroing the view bottom and view left here as well. It's not necessary actually, since we are running the init function, but you can do that as well here. Okay, we are going to accept another argument here in the setup function, which is level, to load the proper level on each step of the game. So add that as an parameter here as well. We are keeping the score. Okay, so for the layers, we are going to need the wall lists. Let's remove these for now. Coin list, and let's add the other ones, self-lit foreground list, sprite list. Let's add the background. And let's add the last one, which is don't touch list, sprite list. Okay. Let's move this one next to the ones that we initialized to 0. Okay, and let's see the current character setup. We have set the sprites, character scaling. Okay, we are okay. So let's just set this one to the constants, which is defined. Player start X and player start Y. Okay. And skip this part for now. Okay. All right. So now we need to set up the variables, local variables that we want for our layer names, as we did for in the previous episode. So let's do that. Platform's layer name is platform's coins layer name is coins. Foreground layer name is foreground, capital letter. Background layer name is background. And the last one, which is the don't touch layer name is don't touch. So these ones are according to the names of the layers that was set in the tile software. So make sure these are right. Okay, now we can load our map. So let's create another local variable. It's called map name. And let's set this one to resources, and tmx maps, map2 level. We are going to have a variable here, level, as we added here, level and .tmx, of course. So make sure this is the same as mine. Now that we define the path for the map, let's get it using the arcade tilemap.readTMX function. So arcade.tilemap.readTMX, and let's get the map name. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to calculate the end of the map, so we can have the game understand when the user gets to the end of the map. I think we forgot to add it to the init, so let me just add this one to the init function self, that end of the map. Okay, and let's set it to 0. Okay, now here we just have to calculate the end of the map, so let's do that. Self end of map. We're going to use my map, that map size attribute. We use width since we are going only horizontally, and we are going to multiply this by grid pixel size that we just defined earlier. So now we have our endpoint for the map. So let's set some other stuff here as well. I will start with the background. So we need to load our background list from the layers. So self.background list, and let's, this equals to arcade.tilemap, that's process layer, my map background layer name, and we have the tile tile scaling. Okay, so I think we can copy these ones and just paste them. So the next one is going to be for our foreground. Let's change these to foreground, and this one is to foreground as well. Okay, so the next one is our walls, so let's define them as well. I'm gonna copy paste it. It's going to be the wall list, and for this one we are going to add some other parameters. So let's just redefine the parameter we pass to the object, be passed to the function. So map object is equals to our map. We have our layer name as we defined, to platforms layer name. All right, scaling, we set it to tile. See, scaling, we set it to tile scaling. Okay, and we are using spatial hash to detect the object collisions better. So let's set this one to true. The next one is going to be our coins. So let's get these coins. It's going to be the coin list. Okay. And coins list. Okay. And we are going to use the coin list layer name, and let me just fix the indentation here. And what else? We're going to use the spatial hash as well. So let's just have that as well. Okay, so we have our coins. The last layer that we have is the don't touch, which is our lava. So let's change this one to don't touch list. Okay. Alright, don't touch layer name. I guess it's correct. And I think we are good to go. Let's set the background as well, in case we have a background. So if my map.background color is not none, we are setting the arcade.set background color to my map.background color. Okay. And the last one, we are going to create our physics engine as we did earlier. So self.physics engine equals arcade.physics engine platformer self.player sprite. We're going to have our platforms, which are our wall list, and we pass our gravity. Okay, so let's see. We don't want to change these now, but on update we need to add a few other checks here. So let's see. I have the coin check here. I play the sound. Okay, I need to add another check for when the player is falling out of the platform. So let's do that. If self.player sprite position y is less than minus 100, we can set the player sprite.center x to player start x, and self player center y to player start y. And of course we are going to reset the camera as well. So self.left view left, sorry, to 0. View bottom is going to be set to 0 as well. We are going to set the changed variable here to true. And we are also going to play a sound for our game over. Okay. This is the first check. Now let's check if the player hit the lava or anything from don't touch list. So if arcade.check for collision with list player sprite and self don't touch list. Okay. In case we have a collision here, we can set the player sprite to reset everything again. So let's first of all let's change the self.player. Let's just don't let the player sprite to change its position. Change. Sorry, it's player sprite. Change. I was wondering why it's not showing it to us. 0 self.player sprite dot change y to 0 as well. These are identical. Oops. Going to. Okay. Let's see. All right, we're good to go. And what else should we add here? In case the player reached to the end of the map and successfully finished the map level, we need to get to the other level. So let's set that check as well. Self player sprite.center x is bigger or equal than self at end of the map. We need to self.level add 1 to this, and we need to load the setup for level. Okay, and of course we need to reset the camera as well. So let's just add this one as well. And I think we are okay with the checks in our game. Okay, let's see if anything else needs to be changed here. Okay, we only need to change, draw the layers that we just loaded from our map. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's go and change the undraw function. So we have our vol list, we have our player list, we have our coin list. We need to add the background list, draw. We need to add the foreground list. And we need to add the don't touch list and draw it as well. We are showing our player score as well, so it's fine. And let's run our game, see what we have. Okay, let's see what is the problem. One missing requirement. Well, okay, here. We need to pass the level as we have set it in the setup function. So we need window.level. Okay, I think we are good to go. Let me see. Okay, we don't have any errors. Okay, as you can see, we have loaded our map. It looks great. Remember, you can create an amazing map like this using the Tile software. Again, I encourage you to check the documentation for Tile and explore it more. We have our level here, as you can see. Let's see if the level works. As you can see, we have our game over sound working as well. Let me see if I can reach the end of the map as well. Okay. And yeah, we are working. The level was working good. Let's check for this one. All right, don't touch list works. And let's see. Okay. All right, so as you can see, we haven't defined any other levels, so, but you can do that. You can create other levels and explore more. I hope you enjoyed this series of tutorials. I think I am going to add another tutorial for improving the controls for the game. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you in the next tutorial.